Welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching rugby league. My name is Tino Fa'asua Manaiawi. I am joined on a Thursday by Adam Whenua Kosi.
G'day, mate.
Kosi, mate. How are you?
Really good. My back's sore this morning.
Oh, why? Your backbone?
After classic. After basketball last night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
What, from carrying? Well, it can't be from carrying the team.
No, it's from riding the pine hard. I woke up this morning, I could barely walk. I was like, what the hell? And I'm like, I'm 32, played basketball last night, probably didn't stretch at all.
Did you stretch at all?
No.
Did you warm up at all?
No.
Did you go home and just sit immediately on the couch and scroll on your phone for about 2 hours because you can't fall asleep after playing a game of basketball on Wednesday?
Because I'm wired
from
my 8 minutes of action. I went straight home, said goodnight to my wife who was already in bed, and then sat on the couch and played PlayStation for 2 hours.
Yeah.
That'll be it.
I think that's basically what everyone does. That's why I hate when people at social sports on like a Wednesday or whatever get chippy. There is nothing more embarrassing to me than getting in a fight at social sport.
And it's the most, out of all the grades, that's the one that attracts the most.
Yeah, because there's people who might have been nice at high school and then now it's 15 years later and they're like, how come I still can't do it? Don't point at me.
The listeners can't tell, but I'm pointing at Manaia right now because I've got a point to make.
Yes.
One of the guys in our basketball team, he has a touch team over the road there at TAB.
Oh, right.
Who's like our opposition. Their touch team, my wife used to play for them because it was a mixed one.
Yeah.
There is a guy there that I went to watch one of her games, and their team is really good, and he's very good.
Yeah.
He swore at the ref from the sideline and was like barking orders, because he's a player, he was subbed off. He was barking orders at his team the whole game, and then the ref made a call, and he said, "You've got to be fucking kidding me. Are you fucking serious?" To this woman who was probably like 24.
Office worker. Giving up her time.
$10 to ref the game.
Yeah.
And she stopped the game and said, I'm going to stop the whole thing and you guys are going to have an L next year if you don't calm down. And I said to my wife, you can't play for that team next year. They suck. They were great. And everyone in the team was great except for this one guy. And as a result, she's like, yeah, I can't handle playing with him and had to leave.
Yeah.
Social.
It's so much. There's nothing social about social sport.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, you're not going to make the league. Who gives a shit? What we're actually doing here is getting out of the house, tricking ourselves into exercising, and trying to sweat the beers out.
It also gives you just a hint of that, oh yeah, I can still do it. Not basketball.
Does it?
Not basketball. But if you play a game of very social touch, you go, oh yeah, no, I can still do the...
Doesn't to me.
Yeah, well, you never could.
But, but every now and then there's a dude who's just like, you know what, if I dedicated my life for the next 10 years,
yeah, I reckon
I could make it.
Yeah.
You've had a haircut.
Don't go straight to I've had a haircut. I asked the barber this morning, new chick at the place we always go. Mm-hmm. Do you still go there?
Yeah. I just went there recently, can't you tell?
Yeah, actually, it looks good. Who did yours? Because I should get that person.
I'm not going to say.
Yeah, right. So new chick, I was like, I'll see what she's like. And then I said to her, now, at my work, they have a thing where if you walk in with a fresh fade,
yes,
everyone goes, hey, fresh cut.
Oh, new haircut, is it?
So I said to her, can I have a 2 fade, not a 1 fade? 2 is a bit more restrained, but still scucky.
Sure.
And I said to her, I just don't want to walk in and people be like, hey. And she's like, yeah, cool, I can do that. And then proceeded to cut the scuzziest haircut I've ever had. And she's like, so that's not too out there, is it? And I was like, nah, it's great, thank you. Here's $50.
Yeah. But that's such Kiwi dude shit. We just sit there and no matter what they do to our hair, we're just like, yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks great, thank you. The mirror at the back too, I was like, oh, she fucked the back up and got sick.
You can feel it sometimes when they're doing your hair because as a dude, when you're getting your hair clip it can go in your eyes. So quite often you get your eyes shut. When you open them, you're just like, oh my God, shit.
Now, can I just clarify? It's a good haircut.
Yeah. It's just not the one you wanted.
Way too scucky for me,
Now, do you think Jason Hoyt's going to notice that as soon as he walks in?
Yes, and do you think Jason Hoyt latches onto the first piece of content that's available to him and then bleeds it dry? Yes.
Yes, so enjoy the next 3 hours of that radio show. The thing is, I've now got to the point where people don't even really say it to me because that's how I run. I don't get a haircut very often. I get a haircut and it's quite a tight fade and then I let it grow until I look like when they pulled Saddam Hussein out of that hole in the ground and then I go and get a haircut again. And that's my cycle. Rinse and repeat.
How long have you been running that exact haircut?
It's since I was 18.
Yeah. So good.
I think dudes, to be honest, have 3 haircuts tops in their lifetime.
Yeah.
And I think mine will change probably in the next 5 years. And
it's a huge call to change it too.
Well, it's the exact feeling that you're talking about, but over a longer period because people are talking about you behind that. What's he fucking doing with his hair?
You see the new lid on Manaia?
Yeah, that's right. See, Jeremy Wells has done enough haircuts in his lifetime for, 10 men.
He can just come in with a different one, no one even blinks. But
I don't have a lot of options. I got flat top, kinner, bowl cut.
You occasionally go like almost not bald, but quite short.
Yeah, most summers I'll shave all my hair off.
Yes.
Go kinner.
It looks real good, man. Just quickly, I mean, I know we're supposed to be chatting rugby league, but last night you picked me up for basketball in the ACC Ute, which is a mid-90s Ford Falcon Ute.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was sick.
It's going to run it straight 6.
Yeah, and it is a bitch to like you. Everywhere we went, you had to do like a 17-point turn in it.
It's got the turning circle of a train.
Yeah, it's like Manaia's trying to turn the cruise ship around before it hits the iceberg.
Yeah, I know.
AKA the Land Rover in the car park.
Yeah, and everywhere I go, people are looking at it like, fuck, you're not going to park next to me, are you?
That was a great experience.
Sure.
But hey, rugby league.
Yeah, rugby league, mate. We commentated the game on the weekend. We'll be commentating the game again in just about 48 hours, 5 o'clock on Saturday night. Now, on this podcast, we don't really have like a segment dedicated to feedback, but on the Agenda podcast, we do. And so somebody has sent in feedback to this specific podcast. So
what?
Let's open the podcast with that. So without any further ado, caller yours, please.
Hey, cunt. I know you don't have a yours, please, but I'm just listening to this podcast and whatever respect I had for Kosi is down to a sliver. This pie carry on. Take a good look at yourself, buddy. You rip the lid off, you chuck the sauce in, you pull the lid into little bits, fold it in half and scoop out this saucy mint deliciousness. Get it in ya. Get it in your gullet. You drink what I give you, boy.
That's so good. I'm so glad we opened up that segment. Is this in regards to me eating a 4 and 20 with a knife and fork?
I presume so, yeah.
Well, look, I mean, and the good thing was you were very understanding of the situation because we were commentating the game. Joe Jury chucked them in the air fryer, chucks them on for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
He doesn't pull them out until they're like basically uranium being pulled out of a nuclear reactor. And I didn't want to burn my hands and my mouth, so I went the knife and fork, so I just burned my mouth whilst commentating the Warriors.
If it was a family pie, I would understand. You know, like one of those ones where you got to dish up a slice of pie and then you get your veggies with it. I'd understand that. To a degree, if it was a particularly difficult normal pie to eat,
like a sloppy one,
might be able to forgive that.
It wasn't even like...
This was a crisp, refreshing 4 and 20 traveller pie designed to be eaten by truckers whilst operating heavy machinery, and you sitting at a desk still needed a knife and fork.
It's funny because they're designed for one hand, but I couldn't even two-hand it.
No.
So I had to knife and fork it. But that's all part of the, it's all part of the charm of the ACC, isn't it?
What do you do when you're out at Mount Smart Stadium and they dish you up a 4 and 20 pie? And you've got no knife and fork.
I asked for one of those little polystyrene trays.
And you give it the old knees together like you're at a barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. And I just cut it on my knees there. It's a shambles.
Into small bite-sized pieces.
It's classy, though.
What about like a Fritz's wiener? Would you
I just put that shit away.
What do you mean?
I just put it away.
You don't eat it?
Have you ever seen like that video of a seagull eating a hot dog?
Yeah, right.
I just do that.
I've seen similar videos. All right, the Warriors versus Titans. Let's move on from the pie debacle. They've named their team. The Warriors have DWZ Roko.
Where the fuck is the team list?
Capewell
there it is.
and Barnett are all out. I think the biggest thing for me, and I want to start with this, is the jiggery pokery that they play with the team list every week. Andrew Webster names a team on Tuesday because he's obligated to, but he doesn't even name the exact team that walks out on Saturday. So how much stock do you put into Dylan Walker being named at 12? Obviously, Barnett's out, and so Jackson Ford's going to stay in that number 10 jersey. Marata Niukore on the other edge. Do you believe that Dylan Walker will be starting in that 12 jersey, or do you think that Jacob Laban will be coming in?
I like to think Laban will come in. This is more of a Dylan doesn't play 12 than it is a Jackson Ford should jump into 12 from prop.
No.
Because he wants Jackson Ford to be a prop going forward, and they very much like to stick to these things, so he will be there. But Dylan Walker at 12, I'm sure he could play it.
I'm sure he could.
But no, he's so good as that first receiver at lock that's just in the middle.
Yeah.
I think Laban comes in, Walker to 13, Tohu off the bench again.
Yeah, and I think what Webby does, and I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but I think he does this to sort of stop guys like Jacob Laban being talked about in the media for the whole week.
I think so, yeah.
So he's like, look, these young guys, whenever someone's made a debut for the Warriors this year, it's been from 18th man or off the bench, and I think that's why he's doing it. I just would be shocked if Dylan Walker, like he's an excellent player, but he's not that big hole-running
No.
edge forward that we have been desperately crying out for this year.
You know who is? Jacob Laban.
Jacob Laban is that dude.
So, and I also, yeah.
And like you say, I don't actually even mind Dylan Walker coming off the bench for us. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if that was the...
Well, it's nice because, like, Tohu coming off the bench in recent weeks has been great because he gets to come on when everyone else is tired and not have to play the full 80. However, Dylan Walker coming off the bench is great because he injects some scuckiness at about the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, you got to do what your opponent doesn't want you to do. And when I'm absolutely shagged out there in the middle, which I often am in the National Rugby League, the last thing I want to see is Dylan Walker coming at me at a million miles an hour.
Exactly. And I love remember the injection of him and Jazz Tavanga last year? The Ball brothers, it was fantastic.
You chuck a Chanel Harris-Tavita in there as well.
Yeah.
I think the 18th man, it's not on our list here, but I believe it's Bunty R4.
Right.
Who's back from his hamstring injury.
Right, so he could be a late inclusion there.
Potentially, I don't know.
Ed Kosi.
So. The Kosi Klub.
On Dallon's wing.
So Dallon's obviously got a week for his high shot on a man who did not have the ball.
That was so shit.
It was.
I love Dallon.
So do I.
I love the Warriors. But like Marcelo's penalty was dumb and it was real smart from Jerome Hughes.
Yeah.
He just, that entire game, he was like a puppet master. He suckered Marcelo in out of frustration, who then threw him on the ground. You know, like it was a pure, like, I could see Cameron Smith doing that, or, you know, like a Daly Cherry Evans.
It was like a frustration foul in social basketball.
100%. So that was dumb, and I was like, oh, that was super dumb. And then Dallon's one happened, and I was like, oh, no, that was super dumb.
Yeah. So anyway, he'll be out for a week, which brings the Kosi Club back in. Are you renewing your membership to the Kosi Club?
Wow, what is it, $40 a year?
Yeah, it's $40 a year at the moment, I think. Are you in on the Kosi Club?
Look, I think, and by the way, this goes for us in our local RSA, which we've been toying with potentially shifting as a regular spot. I think we give it one last go.
Renew one more time?
We go, we see how it is at the Kosi Club / Tiara 2 RSA, and if it goes all good, we stick it out. Yeah. And I'm all in.
Because, you know, at the Kosi Club lately, the food hasn't been great.
Actually, you're right, and quite expensive.
And by food, I mean defense.
Oh.
his defense just letting in all those tries against the Roosters.
His hands are a bit iffy as well.
Yeah. And by hands, you mean the price of jugs are going up.
Handles is what I meant. Yeah, exactly.
Handles.
Exactly. That's exactly what I meant.
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck back in, and he will replace Rocco Berry. Do you think if Rocco didn't get injured, he would be replacing Adam Pompey?
I think that Rocco was sort of not delivering to the level he was, and was almost, because we need Adam Pompey in his goal kicking.
Yeah.
Sean Johnson's going to come in and out of the side because he's older now, injuries, etc. Pompey's a real solid kicker. I almost think Rocco would have been the one that would have dropped out.
Yeah.
That's my vibe.
It could have been that.
So it was very fortuitous that he got massively injured.
Yeah, and again, this, like I say all the time, we have all these positions and we complain like, oh God, how do we fit all these guys on the field? Injuries happen. That's how we fit all these guys in the field.
A shitload of them.
We don't need more out of RTS. I know we always say that. We could end up in this ridiculous situation where Adam Pompey's the goal kicker. When Roger's been playing, he's often the kickoff, like the restart kickoff kicker. And then we're going to have Tamaru Martin as our primary general play kicker. So we're just going to have all these like 7 different dudes kicking the ball. At the end of the last game, the last conversion that we attempted, it was Chanel Harris-Tavita who kicked it. Because so many, Adam Pompey went off with some sort of ankle injury, which he seems to have miraculously recovered from.
Roger's on the right wing, right? The right centre.
He was last time, yeah.
So he's right centre. He's on Dallon's side now. He's not on the left anymore with Marcelo. Is jersey 3?
I'm not confident in that.
I am so dyslexic. Yeah, so jersey 3 is right centre.
Okay.
With Ed Kosi and then eventually Dallon, which means Pompey on the left with Marcelo.
Yep.
Now,
you like that a bit better?
I think going forward, when later on this poddy when we chat SuperCoach, that could be a boost to Roger's value.
To Roger's value?
Because we hardly ever go left. You know, so he kind of just was middling. But now he's going right. He could get his hands on the ball a hell of a lot more.
He could well do. Just looking at the bench, obviously Laban, Tavanga. Tom Ale is on the bench there as well. I think he stays just because of all of the players that we got out. Mitch Barnett, of course, has been called into State of Origin. And also, one of the most unfortunate things to happen to the Warriors this season, Kurt Capewell, who's been injured, haven't seen a whole lot of him, but then also gets called into Origin.
That's such a weird call-up.
I know, and it sucks for us because we're like, we could have done with them.
Yeah, and it's like usually this is the period where we thrive because we don't have that many Origin players.
Yeah.
And now we've got Capewar and Warnett gone.
Yeah.
Why is Cobbo not there? Is he injured?
So on Throbbo.
Did he just get dropped?
Question without warning.
No.
I'm not sure.
This is some info that we should have, and producer Adam's Googling it ferociously right now, because if Cobbo was dropped in favour of Capewell, I know that Capewell has played centre in the past and has a lot of Origin experience, but I thought Cobbo was just genius. He came on straight away. The hammer went to fullback.
I thought he was excellent as well.
I don't know.
I would be surprised. Now, looking at the tits over there, Keno Kinney, their fullback, has been absolutely excellent over the last few weeks. And for AJ Brimson, who I think is back in around a couple of weeks' time.
He's iffy though.
Yeah.
So he could be there for a wee while longer.
He's been great. Khan Pereira has his moments. Brian Kelly's been good. And despite all of that, they're still at the bottom of the table. Is there anything in this team that really scares you? Is it Jaden Campbell at 6? Is it Dave Fafita potentially lining up against Dylan Walker to start the game?
See, that scares me. Dave Fafita is the scariest thing about the Titans.
Yeah.
It's, as far as the Gold Coast is concerned, it's Dave Fafita and the Tower of Terror. Those are the two scariest things on the Gold Coast. To be honest, Khan Pereira, he's on the their whole team's pretty shit.
Yeah. And it's shown in their standings.
But they beat us.
They did beat us.
So what I'm doing here is I'm either going to put a line through the Warriors after this weekend.
Oh, shit.
And when I say that in terms of I don't think they're going to make any noise in the postseason.
Okay. If we don't win this game.
Because if we can't beat the Titans, who lost to the Tigers last week, or did they? I can't remember.
Yes.
God, I've been away in Bali. My brain's still fried. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the Titans have had so many changes. They've been without Jaden Campbell. Even Fafita was out last week. They've been shifting Kieran Fawn around. They're back if we can't beat them, especially after what happened with Melbourne last weekend, this is a real, we need to start winning, because there's us, there's the Cowboys, there's the Knights, there's all these teams who are sort of in the middle and need to start winning.
Yeah, we did the exercise on Monday on the podcast of we need basically 7 wins out of the remaining games, and we went through and said who are we definitely going to beat. I think there were about 3 of them. Then there were 2 more that we were like maybe, and that got us to 5.
Yeah.
So then we're like, well, not only do we need to win these, and this Titans game was one of the ones that we said, yeah, we're going to win.
Well, it should be, yeah.
And so if we drop this, it then means in the back end of the season we need to start beating the Broncos. We need to start beating, Penrith and these teams that I just can't see it happening.
No, absolutely not. So,
but the other thing is, we've seen over the last few weeks before that Melbourne game, we've started to pick up a little bit of pace, and everyone was saying, if we can just start getting these guys back, there's no reason why over the next 2 months we can't get back to the same Warriors team that we had last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the loss last week hurt a lot because we were starting to believe that we could have beaten them. So I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I still think we can turn this around. And I do think we're going to win this weekend.
So do I. And we're commentating it. And join us, Sky Sport 9. It's going to be excellent. Yeah. But I'm just like... I told so many people, especially Anzac Day, the Titans, I was like, we're going to do a job on these guys. It's going to be... For the first time in ages, it's going to be a great Anzac Day of rugby league for us.
Yeah.
And we lost. Yeah. So I want them to beat them. I want them to play full 80, not 20 minutes of dominance, and then sort of lose a bit of resilience there, and then,
let them back in.
Yeah. Look, I just want them to smash the Titans.
I think we're going to win, and if we win, I think we're going to win by a bit.
Yeah?
I also think if we lose...
We're going to lose by a bit.
We could potentially lose by a bit. This is the problem with the Titans. They've always been this glass cannon type team.
They get their tails up and score in a hurry.
They got dudes who can score from anywhere.
Yeah, so guys like,
Jaden Campbell is the exact kind of player we struggle against.
Yes, and then even a Khan Pereira in open space, I could see him scoring a hat-trick if we're off our game.
Is Jojo Fafita in there? Yes, he is.
Jojo Fafita is in there on the other wing. However, those guys are shocking on defence, so if we get our tails up...
Yeah, this is why I mean.
Yeah,
someone's getting blown out this weekend.
Yeah, who is it?
Someone's getting blown this weekend, and I hope it's us.
Wait, no, I hope we're blowing them out.
Yeah, sorry. Other way around.
Yeah. Should we go to an ad?
Okay. Just before we do, the 4 and 20 prize pack is back again each month. The Mad Monday team, we've got 4 tickets to the next home game and 4 and 20 pie vouchers that you can eat with a knife and fork in the comfort of your own home.
Oh, yeah.
Just text the monthly keyword to 3236. This month, the keyword is yum. So text yum to 3236 to be into it. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to make a soup, see if Keezy can eat that with a knife and fork, and we'll come back to talk SuperCoach. All right, it's time to talk a bit of SuperCoach. It is round 16 in the SuperCoach, which means that it is a major buy round. And am I right in presuming that the top 13 players in your squad, you get their scores?
Yes, however, you still need to make sure they're in your starting lineup and you still need to reserve them.
Yes, this is where I went wrong last time. I was like, surely if you're just taking the top 13, what does it matter who I reserve?
And you were doing that thing which a lot of people do where they can't believe
that it would be that way.
So they're like, nah, it's not that. Nah, you're wrong. Just while you're like trying to comprehend how stupid it is.
It is stupid.
It is stupid. It should just be all your players. You don't need to reserve anyone because you can barely fill up the starting lineup.
Yeah, that's right.
So make sure you do still select them all.
Because the whole point of the reserves thing is that you have to make choices and leave dudes out. But this round, it's like
exactly
all the rules are out the window except for one.
and we're going to really make sure we stick to that. How many players have you got? Because it is 13 as opposed to a usual 17.
Yeah. I have. How many do I have that are playing?
Yeah.
I have 14.
Oh, okay, great.
So I'm in a really good position this week. And of the 14 that I have, it's a lot of my heavy hitters are in there. You know, your Fafitas.
Roosters are playing?
I've got Tedesco. I've got Dong Yum, who just got named in the team. Terrell May's still on my team.
Same here, yeah,
Adam Fanua-Blake. So I'm all right. And I was looking at my trades, and trades are the most fun part of SuperCoach. I think we can all agree. But I just don't know who I can bring in. So if we wanted to look at some of the buys that are flying around this week, because a lot of people will be in a situation where they need to bring some people in. One of the ones that's caught my eye, and Adam actually pointed this one out this morning, is Ruben Porter, who is eligible at second row forward for the Tigers. He is almost bargain basement pricing. I think if you look
204,000, he's bottom dollar.
He is bottom dollar.
So he's played 2 games. He played against the Dragons and he played 20 minutes and got 17 points. He then played against the Titans and got 70 minutes.
Yes.
Why did he get so many minutes, I wonder?
So then the thing with him is he can play this round. They're playing the next bye round.
He plays 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, has a break in 26.
Yeah.
So he's great.
He could potentially get dropped in amongst that. But
that's what I worry about, yeah.
Guaranteed price rise. And if you needed to make some cash to bring someone, a decent player in this week, to make up numbers, to win your head-to-head, whatever it is, that is a great option in Ruben Porter.
I think this round there's going to be, like, for example, have you seen the team list that Manly have named?
Yeah.
It is an absolute, like, it's pretty much an NSW Cup team.
Former Warrior Carl Lawton starting at halfback.
Yeah, Carl Lawton at halfback. He's a hooker, isn't he? You bench utility. I don't know.
He's a hot dude.
He is a hot dude. So there are this round going to be quite a lot of sort of cheapies coming in.
Yep.
That could end up being a wee bit of a trap.
Yep.
But this fella's played 2 games already, so Benji's obviously got him in the rotation.
Yeah. And he is playing this week, so that's guaranteed cash. It's bargain basement. That's what you're buying. Don't be shocked if he then goes back to the bench again. You know,
absolutely.
Anytime you bring a Tiger into your team, you know, you're in deep shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So
most people that work in places where tigers live, they'll put a mask on the back of their head because tigers like to attack from the back. And so if they think that you're looking at them, they won't attack you. So they'll put a mask on the back of their head,
right?
So that tigers don't attack them from the back.
Did your missus ever have to do that? And this isn't a weird joke. This is your missus zookeeper. Yeah.
No, she hasn't had to do that.
Yeah, right.
But this is more like out in the wild. All I'm saying is, if you're going to bring a tiger into your team,
put a mask on the back of your head.
Put a mask on the back of your head. That's right.
Actually, just on that, I've still got Lachlan Galvin.
Yeah, so again, you're going to need a mask on the back of your head. He could get dropped. Buzz Rothfield's saying that he's strutting around the changing room saying, see, this is why I can't wait to get the fuck out of here.
That's crazy, yeah. If that is
crazy.
True.
Yeah.
But he's a warm body and he's playing this weekend. Yeah, I've still got Luke Brooks from the start of the season.
That's going to come in handy this weekend.
And like the thing with watching him is
he's actually all right.
He's all right.
Yeah.
And he scored a try and set up a try here and there. And without Daly Cherry Evans, I like to think that he'll be doing a lot of work this weekend.
You'd hope so.
But every time, like, man, I need to trade him out for a decent player, and he just stays in my team.
Yeah, I've got a few dudes like that. KO Weeks is my version of that.
Yeah, he's pretty scucky when he gets going.
He is, yeah. So I'm not too mad about that. This is the biggest one for me, and I have traded him in, I've traded him out, I've traded him in, I've traded him out. Lil Pappy's back. Ryan Pappenhausen has been named to start for the Melbourne Storm. They cover the buys pretty well. He won't be in consideration for Origin.
Yeah. Have you? I like to see how he goes when he's back.
I know.
Because he's like a locomotive. He takes a wee while to get up to speed.
He can do because the injuries that he has.
And fair enough.
Horrific.
And they're all like breaks and shatters and fractures. So the good thing is it's not like a muscle, soft tissue kind of injury. So you'd sort of think, oh, the bone's mended itself. He's back. You know what I mean? Like he's not worrying about a hammy or anything like that.
That's what I think. And so the trade that I've made and then pulled out of and then made and then pulled out of and may yet again before the first game kicks off tonight is Latrell down to Pappy, which is a super pod play. Pappy's at about 692. Latrell at the moment is 870.
You don't just want to keep Latrell for the rest of the season?
The problem I have is I am hovering around 86th in our Mad Monday Munters League.
Right.
I'd like to be a bit higher than that come the end of the season. And
I'm 57th, actually.
Over the next 5 or 6 weeks, Latrell only plays like one game because they have a bye coming up, I think next weekend.
Yeah, I'll check that, yeah.
So he's not playing this weekend because of Origin. Then a bye, so he's out for at least the next 2 weeks. He has another bye in fairly short succession after that, and he'll also be playing in Origin Game 3. And I can't afford to have $870,000 sitting on my bench if I'm looking to try and climb the rankings. You're right, though. Come the end of the season, you're probably going to want him.
So, well, it's
a massive dice roll.
It's a huge dice roll, and at this point of the season, it comes down to how many trades you've got.
Yeah.
It's almost like a luxury-style trade where you make it because you can.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if I can. I've got 15 left.
Yeah, I've got 14, man. We're stuffed. Adam, our producer's probably got like 100.
He's gaining them.
Ben Hurley lost them all around a month ago.
Yeah. He boosted all 4 first weeks.
So I've done a similar thing to you for a similar reason. I've had Scott Drinkwater since Ponga went down, I think. So ages.
Yeah.
He's got 2 buys coming up, and he's got the Panthers in between.
Yeah.
Bye, Panthers, bye.
I think he's the most dropped dude this week.
Yeah, you are 100%. Yeah, you are 100% correct. And then Ruben Garrick, which is interesting. So I think with the Scott Drinkwater, he's going to miss 2 games. He's playing the Panthers. He's not going to score well against them. He's going to lose some cash anyway. Definitely a Pappy could be a good option.
Or Teddy if you can work it.
So I've done Teddy.
Yeah.
I've gone straight from Drinkwater to Teddy, and that is one of my fullback positions locked in for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's right.
I am not getting rid of Teddy.
So I already have Teddy, and so that's why I'm thinking, geez, do I do trial? At the moment, I haven't got him in my team.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing it. My caveat to this would be, if you're listening to this podcast and you go out and get Pappy, just bear in mind it's at your own risk because there's every chance he scores 15 or the plate comes out of his leg or his fucking elbow shatters into him. I don't know. I'm just saying, don't go and get him because you heard us mention his name on the podcast and then come at us next week and be like, oh, he only scored 13. That's the risk we're taking here.
It is.
It's a super pod, though.
It is a super pod. I also think if you're getting Pappy, you're fully in, like, you're aware of the fact that he could take a while to get up to speed, but after 2 or 3 games, he'll be cranking out hundreds because that Melbourne team is flying with Jerome Hughes, Katoa, and then all of a sudden you got Pappy coming back.
He still outstrips a lot of. He's scored more points this season than the Hammer, total points.
Yeah, right. See,
even with all of the injuries
and all the highlight plays from the Hammer too.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think, and the good news is, if you're like me and you've still got Fa'alongo, he's shifted to the wing.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll score very well there, and he could lose cash, but you can keep him this week.
Yeah.
If to make up your 13 players.
The other buys that we've got in here, Katoa and Hughes. I think we saw it. They just did it to us against the Warriors last weekend.
I've already got Katoa. Have you got Hughes?
Yes, I've got both of them.
You got both, yeah.
And have had for quite a while. And I just think Katoa is probably still worth getting in. I think Hughes, it'd be very hard for you to get him in this week.
The thing with Hughes is if you're getting him in, fine, but you're probably going to want to get Cleary in soon when he comes back.
Yeah.
But he could be a way to sort of bridge the gap between. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends how many trades you got.
I think that's tough. Sells, Garrick. This is the one that you said was the second highest sold player this week. He's out with a concussion. Then he's got the bye. So he's out for at least 2 weeks.
But he's also a top 3 wing fullback who you'd want for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So it comes down to your trades, man. I think you just put him on your bench and forget about him and then bring him back in afterwards.
Yeah. We were talking about before about luxury trades.
Yeah.
I think Latrell, not to go back to this, but he is a luxury stash for me. I don't know if I can afford it.
Yeah, right. So that's the other side of it.
Am I going well enough that I can stash $870 for 6 weeks?
You? Nah. And me, to be fair, me either.
I have been surging up the rankings lately. I don't know if it holds. Armstrong, if you held him, do you sell him? He's on the buy this week as well.
He's also been replaced by a guy that everyone should pick up next week, the fullback for the Knights, who's
Sharp. Yeah.
Fletcher Sharp. Because he was originally the Knights' second choice fullback anyway, but he was injured. So that's why Armstrong came in.
Yeah.
And so next week, he's played 2 games, and then he's on the bye this week. So next week, bring Fletcher Sharp in at fullback for a couple of weeks until Ponga gets back whenever he's due back.
Yeah.
And then, make some cash there.
And then you've just got to find out whether he's going to be F-sharp minor or F-sharp major.
Hopefully major. Got a feeling it's major.
Who are you going to captain this week? This is a tough question.
I fucking hate captains. This season has been shit for captains.
It's hard to pick, isn't it?
Every time I pick a captain, I captained Garrick. He got 4.
Yep.
He got
9.
He got 9. That's my bad. So I got 18 out of that. And I was watching the game ready for him to just tear them a new one. Like, got hit in the head off for an HAA. Damn it. Came back on straight away. Massive high shot. Got up wobbly. I was like, okay. And I turned the TV off.
Yeah.
Then turned it back on again. I'm just going Tedesco.
Same.
Rest of the season, Tedesco / Hines.
Yeah.
Vice captain for Feeder.
Yeah.
Rest of the season.
My history with the vice captain is torrid, so I'm just not even gonna worry about who my vice captain is. I'm just gonna go captain.
Yeah.
Vice captain is on Dave for Feeder. Will probably stay there for the rest of the season.
But that's the thing. Like, we were recently in Bali and on a boat trip where we all thought we were going to die.
Yes.
And that was the moment I was supposed to do the vice captain switch because my vice captain scored really well.
Vice captain loophole. You're sitting on a boat in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah.
With a Russian gentleman throwing up off the back of the boat.
That's right. And crossing a channel which we probably shouldn't have been crossing. And I was supposed to do it then, and it wasn't until I got back on land afterwards and said a little prayer. And then opened my SuperCoach app and was like, oh, okay, I should have done that. I can't remember who I captained, but they got nothing.
Yeah.
So, look, for the rest of the season, Tedesco, and then for Feeder as vice, and I'm not going to go, oh, Dom Young, good matchup this week.
Nah.
Oh, Isako.
Yeah. And the only time that changes is when Cleary or Hines come back and
That's right.
Origin's done.
That's right. And you go, oh, should I go Cleary or Hines this week? Oh, Cleary's playing this team, I'll go for him.
Yeah, that's right. So we're both unanimous in the captains. So no trades for you this week?
Just drink water to Teddy. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think if you don't have Teddy, you got to get him in. Captain him. At the very least, if he shits the bed, everyone else has captained him too. So
that's what you want to be a part of.
You won't lose because of him, but you could win because of him. All right, well, without any further ado, let's knock this thing on the head. We will be back 5 p.m. on Saturday. Oh, we've got a bet to place, actually. Hang on.
Oh, shit. All right. What is it, the game day good hunch?
The game day hunch for the TAB. We are playing the Tits. The Tits are paying $2.50
to beat us.
To beat us. New Zealand Warriors, $1.53. AFB anytime try scorer and Warriors win is $4.50.
I think the Titans middles, who have they? Let me just double check. Who have they got in the middles?
Fucking no one. They have Mo Fotuaika as their best forward.
Who the hell is Josiah Pahulu?
Let's get on Adam Fedor, Blake.
So, yeah, like he's going to be running through the centre there, and he's going to be, I think he's definitely going to score.
And it's boosted to $4.50. Was $3.60. All right, let's settle it.
And the Warriors to win?
And the Warriors to win.
I like it.
All right, that's our bet. That is the main power play on the TAB homepage for the Warriors game this weekend. So go and have a look at that one. We will be back on Saturday afternoon, 5 p.m. It's a Super Saturday on Sky Sport 9. Myself and Kosi commentating that game. Straight into the Super Rugby Grand Final after that. So join us for all of that action and enjoy your weekend of football.
See ya.
And Australia without rugby league is not Australia.